Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ground Up with Natalee, the podcast that pulls back the curtain on what it actually takes to build a career in the entertainment industry as an actor. I sit down with actors, directors, and casting directors to talk about the real, unfiltered journey, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. No gatekeeping, no overnight success myths, just honest conversations to remind you that you're not alone and that you too can follow this dream. I hope you enjoy. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ground Up. Today, we have my dear friend Josh Rodriguez on, who has done a lot of national commercials, guys. I can't even count, but not only that, he works in casting for commercials. The knowledge that this man has is, you can't put a number on it. You just can't. This episode, we just finished, and I have to go home and take notes. I have to sign up for a new headshot session. Honestly, I have to get my shit together because it's hard out there, guys, but commercials are so much fun, and I'm so inspired to continue to book them. They've been my baby for so many years, but Josh has all the answers about anything that has to do with commercial acting, and we don't leave anything out. We talk for 65 minutes straight. So you're gonna love this episode. As always, make sure to send it to a friend if you got any goodies out of it, which I know you will. And don't forget to rate the pod if you've been enjoying it. Thanks. Okay, Josh, we start every episode with the Ground Up 3, so I would love to know where are you from?
I am born and raised in LA.
Oh.
Lincoln Heights specifically, so
okay.
East LA.
Love. So have you been doing this forever, acting?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, since high school. Right after high school, I went to LOXA, so I graduated from the Performing Arts High School.
Okay.
Kind of like the Fame High. And then from there, I was like, do I want to go and be an interior designer or pursue this professionally? And my mom had gotten diagnosed with breast cancer at the time. She's good now. And she was like, you need to do what you love. Like, please. And that inspired me. And I was like, all right, I'm going to freaking hit the ground running, get an agent and manager, and do this thing. And I did, and I haven't looked back.
Boots on the ground too. Like you didn't do a 4-year college.
No,
okay.
I joined an acting class in LA,
same.
but not a college.
That's exactly what I did. What was your first dream job?
I think it was always an actor.
Yeah.
Titanic was my thing. Like I would be in the backyard as a kid and I'd act out both roles and I'd be like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I remember my mom taking me to the movie theater and me looking at that screen and being like, I knew even at an early age, they're creating this before my eyes. That's cool. They're actors. It's not real. I want to do that.
I love it.
So that inspired me.
What ended up being your first job? Paid, not acting, unless it was acting, perhaps.
First job was, what was it? Oh, it was couple at the same time. I managed a chocolate store.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So we'd have to make chocolate, sell it. It was really not busy at all. I felt bad for the owner, but it was my first job.
Love.
And then she ended up closing. So then I got a job at a restaurant in South Pasadena at Gus's Barbecue, and that was really fun.
Does it still exist?
Oh yeah, and it's really freaking good.
I love barbecue, and I love South Pasadena.
Yeah.
Is that where you? No.
So no, Lincoln Heights, which is kind of close to Highland Park.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I would take the metro to go to work at the chocolate store, the restaurant, and then I managed Dinosaur Farm, which is still there. It's one of the toy stores there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
those were my first jobs.
I love it. So you're early 20s. Mom gave you the go, and you knew, you're born and raised in LA. You're just like, okay, I know I have to get this agent manager thing to start getting auditions.
Totally. But I wish in high school we had, because it was performing arts high school, I wish we had a course where it would prepare us for the professional, but it didn't, So right after I graduated, sure, I had a lot of friends that were working actors at the time from high school, but nobody really helped, really. So it was kind of figuring it out yourself and doing the research, reading and getting to know people and, all that. So
everyone says the same thing. They're like, even if they went to a college, they're like, there was no class.
Oh, yeah.
Even if they got their BFA in acting, they're like, once I got to LA, I didn't know how to get started on getting that audition thingy that I had to get to book the thing to be on the screen, which is the only thing at that point I knew I wanted.
Yeah.
So that's so interesting that you went to a performing arts high school and there was no course in there that taught you, I guess, the business side.
Yeah, like the commercial side of it. Like none of
the
that.
pitch email side or anything like that.
How to get an agent, once you have an agent, like none of that.
Which is why I'm creating that exact thing.
Yeah.
But okay, so then you started learning on your own. You sent pitch emails to agents or managers?
I was in an acting class and one of the actresses was like, "You're really good. I'm going to refer you to my manager."
There you go.
And I'm like, "Great."
Referral, yes.
I didn't even ask for it. She was just like, she would love you. You're a Latino, you speak Spanish, you're young, let's do this. And I was like, great. So I met with the manager and she's my manager since. Sharon Holleran. Yeah,
Love.
In our management, shout out.
Shout out.
Yeah.
That's so hard to find, so that's great.
Yeah, and then from there, she would refer me to agents. I'd kind of cycled through a lot of agents, theatrically and commercially, until it's one that I really loved. And I was like, this is working. This is a team. You know what I mean?
What was that process like when you were going through multiple agents? Was it you firing them? Was it them letting you go? A combination of both? How did you know in your gut when you were like, okay, this agent is not working out for me?
It's a combo of both. One agency that's pretty big, no, two actually, dropped me early on.
Classic. You have to go through it.
Yeah, and I was like,
it's a prereq.
it was like,
excuse me?
He was like, do you know me? No, but yeah, they did. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just starting out. And yeah, I probably didn't book that much at that time. So I was like, all right, okay. But then, you start working and you start to like really see who's, again, on your team and who just gets it and you work well with. And then,
who gets you and your type or what you want to be going out for. It's like dating. I say it. My listeners are annoyed. It's like dating. Not every relationship is going to work, but you do have to know when to walk away from that relationship or else you're going to be held back. Just like if you were in a relationship with a partner and you stay with them for 5 years, they're going to hold you back from so many different things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's what I had to do too. I had to walk away from a lot of them where I'm like, the pool is way too big. Like I need someone to like focus in on me. And I feel like you guys are not responding. They don't reply to the emails. I was missing auditions that they would forget to send me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, no. So
like this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
What is advice you'd give to someone today who's like, I have an agent and they're not talking to me right now. And I haven't had an audition in 8 months.
And you've already emailed and tried to get in contact with them? I would start fresh.
Okay.
I'd be like, hey, I'm like, can we get on a Zoom and like chat about everything and, follow up with them? If that still doesn't work, I would walk away.
Love. Yeah.
But I think you also have to, as actors, we also have to do the work. I feel like we do 90% of the work and they do that 10%, which that's what they're getting, right? So we really have to, be
proactive.
And work for ourselves. So I would set up that Zoom, have a conversation, tell them your needs and your wants, see what they also need to help you, right? And if that just still is not working,
right, give it a okay, great. Here's our 30-day trial.
Really though, because I've done that before. Yeah,
same. So okay, so you finally get your agent and manager. You start auditioning theatrically for TV and film. When did you end up getting into commercials, or did commercials come first?
Commercials came first. My first commercial that I booked was El Pollo Loco.
Yes.
And that was a really fun one.
How many years ago was that?
I was like, I think I was right out of high school, like 18, 19.
Okay. National, like SAG, is that what made you SAG?
It was non-union.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was non-union and I was like, okay, this is cool. It's like, okay, I need to book a union one. Union one, I forget what was my first union job. I can't remember.
And is that what made you SAG? Because that's how I got SAG, was booking a commercial Farmers Insurance, which I think was Allison Horn.
Oh, really?
I'm like 90% sure.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Aw.
When I was 21.
Okay.
I was 21.
Okay.
Yeah. And I actually went in for a stunt role for the commercial because a big pile of water was being poured on me.
Okay, I need to see this commercial.
Yeah,
do you still have it?
Of course.
That's so funny.
But
yeah, look it up.
But you know how like if a big body of water is like, if the actor's going to be in water, that's a stunt person is required. And so because I was a surfer, not professional by any means, but I grew up surfing, I was so comfortable in the ocean. My agent, who's also amazing, and like he knew, that they didn't need
Yeah.
a professional
Like
water
Natalee would be
skier or
great.
anything. Yeah, he's like, why don't you go in for the stunt double? And then she was like, well, wait, why don't you just be the person? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know what that means, but yeah,
Sure.
I want it. And that's how I got SAG.
Wow.
But okay, so you started doing commercials in the beginning.
Commercial was like the main thing that was like coming at the time. And then theatrically, I started booking like really cool co-stars, like on How to Get Away with Murder and like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and like Fresh Off the Boat was a really fun one. And then I felt like I was on a roll, you know? I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like I got the commercial, the theatrical going. And then COVID hit. And then I feel like things shifted theatrically for me. But then commercially, I just like popped off. Like it's been amazing and I'm definitely forever grateful. I just want now, like my goal is the success I have commercially to start translating for TV film. That's like my goal.
Okay.
But commercially, I mean, I can't complain.
You cannot complain.
It's been really
You're
great
on my
years.
TV 7 days a week, literally. So when did you start to dabble in casting? Was
Good question.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was probably like 2018, 2019. I had always eyed AHC casting because I feel like they wouldn't bring me in. And
Which is a big casting director for commercials, by the way, listener.
Yes. And I was like, they don't call me in. What can I do to get in there? And a friend was a session director at the time, but he was also serving with me at mess hall. I was working a
Is that how you met Jesse? Was mess hall?
Yes. That's how I met Jesse. Yes, through mess hall.
I always try to think of the name of that restaurant because it's so good.
So
and
good.
We went multiple times, and that is the first time I heard it.
Yeah.
And that's what it's called.
Mess hall.
Mess hall.
Yes, that's where I met him.
So good.
And Tim was working there, and I knew he was a session director, one of their main session directors. And I was like, hey, if they ever need someone, like if they're ever hiring, please let me know. I'd love to, learn and get in there. And he's like, okay, I'll let you know. And then a couple months go by, and he's like, hey, they're actually looking for a lobby assistant. Would you want to intern? And you wouldn't get paid. I'm like, okay, sure. And I was like, I just need to get in there.
Yeah.
And I did. I interned. It was hard. It was a lot being thrown at me. And I'd go in like 2 hours to 4 hours a day, maybe like 2 or 3 times a week on top of serving. So I'd like do that. And then I'd be like, okay, I got to go to my serving job. Wow. And, I was learning so much. And then they got to know me. They're like, oh, you speak fluent Spanish. Amazing. Wait, can you be the reader in the room? And then they have like a big real people job for SoCal Honda. And they were like, we need to find students with like, that have student debt still. Like, can you help find that? And I was like, yeah. So I like, aced that. And they were like, you're actually good at this. And I'm like, yeah. And then they actually started hiring me. And
that's a casting assistant at that point?
Yeah, just lobby assistant, casting assistant. Okay. And so then I would help with the lobby and everything. And then from there, I just kind of moved my way up, really, though.
Your work ethic must have been just incredible. You showed up, you were curious.
Yeah. And
willing to learn.
The fact that I spoke Spanish fluently, they loved that. Then I just started, really getting to know the camera and like operating the camera as a session director, like filling in for people. If someone needed to run to an audition, I'd cover them. And from there, then COVID hit, right? And then I was let go from mess hall. And I was like, what the hell am I going to do? And Allie actually at the time was like, we'll hire you full time, like salary, benefits. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So
Slay.
I had
I
it was COVID. And I was like, so many of my friends were like, without work.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to take this opportunity. Like, why not? It was full time, Monday through Friday, benefits.
Wow.
And so I was like, yeah. So yeah, we did that. Then that office closed where they were at 1020 Sycamore. You probably remember going there at Audition. Then we moved to 200 South. So I'm the one that organized that whole move. Like I had to sell all the furniture. I was kind of like the office manager to move everything to 200 South and like organize there, help, set up there. And we were there. And then it got really slow.
For casting.
So
you guys weren't getting jobs from clients.
Yeah, and like I had to be honest, like there was days where I'd be at my desk and it'd be really slow. And I'd be like, this doesn't feel right, And I just bought a condo. And I just bought a new car.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm chilling. Like, this is good. I had commercials running.
You had commercials running. Okay.
And then I had, my salary from AHC. So I was like, this is great. And then again, it got slow and I felt it coming where I was going to be let go. And so then.
This is 2020 February? Oh.
No, not 2020. This is 2022.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got through the pandemic, they were fine.
They were fine because we had so many real people casting jobs that were on Zoom, or they were shooting in Texas or in Florida. You know what I mean? So we were set through COVID, and then even 2 years after being at 200 South. So yeah, they had to make a hard decision to let me go. It was just too slow, and in a way, it was sort of a blessing because I had always wanted to be freelance. I felt like I love AHC and them there. I felt like I was stuck in a bubble.
For sure.
And, all the jobs they would cast, I'd go in for, they'd also audition me for.
So they allowed you to start auditioning. Right.
Always. Even since when I started interning, they'd be like, oh, you should go in for that.
Got it.
You'd be right for it.
So that's a great way to get into.
It definitely did help. I'm not going to lie. Like, they would throw a ball at me and then be like, go in there. That's great. And then sometimes I'd book it.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, once they let me go, I was like, okay, this is a blessing. But also I was like, what the heck am I going to do? I have a mortgage to pay. I have a car payment. I was like, started freaking out. But like, I felt like I didn't let myself like get down in the dumps about it.
And stay there.
No.
Wallow in it.
I was like, I got to freaking work.
Yeah.
Like I have so much experience from working at HC, doing all the different roles from lobby assistant to, casting assistant to a casting associate to running sessions for them to all the Spanish, all the real people stuff. I'm like, I have a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
Like I should tell everybody that I can help them too. So tell me I didn't sit like the next day and wrote a whole email to all the top casting directors for commercials in Los Angeles. And I just like sent a whole newsletter and like designed a newsletter, sent it out. And I got all the responses being like, I didn't even know you did this. I didn't even know you were with AHC for this many years.
Josh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And then from there, they just started hiring me. And then I feel like I've built, a roster of casting directors now that hire me to run their sessions or to be their casting associate.
Which is freelance, essentially.
It's freelance.
Oh, that's
and you
great.
make more money.
Yeah.
And it's
you're
flexible.
Session director.
Yeah. And you get to meet so many other casting directors that I hadn't even had conversations with, maybe they had brought me in the past, but now they see me firsthand working the camera and being directing their sessions, that now they trust me more and they know my work ethics. So they call me in more as an actor as well. So
Ground Up is sponsored by Mastermind Media. Whenever someone asks me, how do I get everything done between my social media, my podcast, I say, well, I don't do any of it. Mastermind Media helps me with all of it. They created my logo. All of those reels you see on TikTok and Instagram, it's them. My podcast, editing, all the graphics on YouTube, it's Mastermind Media. So in this digital age, I find that more and more people are needing a company like this who handles everything start to finish. So if you're interested in finally taking your business idea to the next level, definitely contact Mastermind Media. All of their information is in my show notes. So you've worked for multiple casting directors and commercials at this point.
Yeah.
You've learned a lot. You have so much knowledge. Even just sitting in front of me right here, I'm like, I want to know what is the beginning process? Take us behind the scenes so an actor can start to understand what it's actually like on the business side of things. Can you walk us through the process of when a casting director gets the job? What's the first thing that you guys do? Yeah.
So it's almost like casting directors are almost like an actor where you get put on, like they're checking your availability. So like,
I'm dead.
Let's say you're a casting director and you're like, hey, we might be casting a McDonald's job. Are you available for these dates to help cast?
This is like the ad agency reaching out?
Yeah, or the production office.
Okay.
And they're like, these are the dates. These are how many OCP roles. OCP is on-camera principal, if we don't know. So they'll be like, okay, there's 5 OCP roles, and these are the dates. We're thinking about shooting these dates, casting these dates. can we put you on hold? So it's kind of like an avail as an actor. And then, then they get awarded the job. That director gets awarded the job. And if that director is the one that works usually with these certain casting directors, then that casting director gets the job.
Okay.
So they get awarded the job, and then they have to start casting. So whether it's self-tapes or in-person sessions, I prefer in-person casting. I think it's just better to be directed by a session director, take notes, and, I think it just, I do better.
It's so much better. Yeah. Same.
Than doing a self-tape. Theatrically, I prefer more of a self-tape, though.
I'm the same as you.
Yeah, but commercial, I think in person. And then anyway, so then they start auditioning.
Which is how it is, by the way. Theatrical are tapes, and a lot of commercials are in person.
Right. It used to not be like that. I mean, I kind of miss going into like Radford and like Paramount.
Don't get me wrong. And I would be so much better at it now because when I was going in, I was so bad.
Same.
And so I'm like, guys, I'm better now.
And I feel like that also has to do with how much we've auditioned and booked commercials, that it helps in the theatrical world. So I feel like you're right. If I were to go into like a Paramount office and audition, I feel like I
wouldn't be shaking like I was before.
I'd be like, what do you need me to do? Great. Yeah. Awesome. Here we go.
I always tell actors to get into commercial acting. Number one, I fucking love it. It's super lucrative. It's fun, but also like get those reps in of auditioning because there's more commercial auditions than there are theatrical. Yeah. And so you get that practice. And then callbacks are always with the director, whereas theatrically, they might just send your tape all the way up, which is fine, but you're not getting that in-room experience where a director is there and he's, directing you and stuff. So.
Yeah, and the other cool side note about commercial directors is a lot of them are like do TV shows, like they direct TV shows or movies. Like some big directors.
They're great, always. For these big commercials, 100%.
Yeah, so you're getting to know them. But anyway.
So they put the casting notice out to agents and managers. Is it a back end portal?
Through Casting Networks or Casting Frontier, whatever they're going to use.
But we can't. It's not for the layman, right? We can't.
Unless it's a very specific role. So if it's like, a girl who's Latina and surfs, you know what I mean? And it's like a very specific skill or something, then they'll put it out for public.
Okay.
So agents and like people, actors can self-submit.
Is that a button? Public versus agents and managers only?
On the casting side.
On the casting side?
Yep. They'll put it out to either, just the agencies or for everybody or just public. Depends. But yeah, they put out the job with the roles, the OCP roles, and then people start to submit. And then from there, casting directors go in and go, okay, we have 3,000 submissions. Usually it's about like 3,000 to 4,000 submissions. I don't know if they can cap it as a casting director. You can cap it. Or I know you can filter it where you're like, I only want to, this is like real inside scoop. I hope I don't get in trouble.
I only want to see these agencies.
Yes.
I knew it.
I know. So they can filter it. Oh God, I hope nobody's watching. That is in casting. So you can filter it where you're like, I only want to see these agencies. And you only see those people that they submitted. And then from there you can select. Yeah. You can put them in a hopper where you put all your selects. And then when you start to go make the schedule or send out self-tape requests, you have all those people that you selected in the hopper and you just start to move them over and give them either audition in-person times or a self-tape request.
Oh, okay. And so when they're selecting on this big thing, let's say they chose 10 agencies out of 4,000. So now they have 400 submissions in front of them. They're choosing a thumbnail photo.
Yes, that's another good question. So they're looking at pictures that are seriously like this big.
Okay, so he has his pointer finger and thumb, and using his other.
They're tiny. They're maybe even tinier than that.
This is the photo that casting is looking at. This is how big it is to approve you to audition for it. And by the way, I believe it's similar to theatrical, unless you already have a name and they're like, oh yeah, we'll see her to audition or him to audition. But definitely. Commercially,
it's these little thumbnail photos that they're looking through. That's why I think it is important for your headshot to stand out. And like even the simple backdrop or the top that you're wearing should pop a little, I'd say. So anyway,
more on this. So headshots, I was actually going to ask you, I feel like well, first of all, I want to ask, what can an actor do to stand out in a commercial audition? Of course, I feel like you'll go in with glasses. Sometimes you have the mustache a little bit more pronounced. You'll be wearing maybe a sweater vest that's a little bit more put to, like you chose that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're a booking machine. So
wardrobe is big.
Okay.
I feel like wardrobe is definitely big, and like really listening to what it says there in the breakdown when you get an audition. Like, okay, what's the wardrobe like? Is it casual? Is it upscale? Is he more of like he works for Apple? Like, what
Is it the hiking couple?
Yeah, you really have to pay attention to that. And I just go for it. I have fun with picking out outfits and like the colors that work for you and your skin tone, you know? So
it's such great advice, because people might think like, oh, I'm just gonna wear my favorite tank. I look so good in it. It's gonna be great. And if it doesn't go with that thing, it's not gonna be it's not gonna stand out.
Right. Unless sometimes it's like, okay, wear whatever you're comfortable with, and then you're like, this is my favorite tank and I feel comfortable. Then great. At least you're in the zone, you know?
Sometimes wardrobe says, or a lot of times I should say, own personal style. Right? Which I think is actually a fun opportunity to not wear the tank unless that is your like staple, but to wear something that's like, ooh, what do I like these pants I'm wearing right now?
I know, I love those pants.
What are these bandana?
Bandana.
That's the word. Bandana pattern.
Yes.
So I always go into those ones. And then look at the
You nail it with clothing. I just have to say though. I see your Instagram stories like or run into at auditions, or you're like coming in for something I'm session directing.
Yeah.
And you always look,
Thanks.
you know.
But
amazing.
now this genuinely motivated me to be like, okay, no, we need to take these outfits seriously. For some reason, I go out for a lot of hiking. There was like a Ford commercial. I booked it.
I feel like you're such a like Subaru girl. Like I could totally see a Subaru commercial.
But I go all out. I get my hiking boots. I have a fanny pack on.
A puffer vest or something?
A vest. Plus the tank under it. Maybe a long sleeve that goes with that, you know? So
the flannel.
I'm like, the flannel hanging off. Yes, I do
tied around the waist.
Tied around the waist. We have to.
Yeah, that's a staple. That's definitely a staple to have in the closet for auditions. Yeah.
So
I feel like we're like the casting. So then people pick you, right? And then you get selected. And then from there you audition, either in person or a self-tape. And then we send them off to the agency and director. And
your selects though.
No.
All of them.
All the ones all the ones that we selected to audition or to self-tape.
Oh, so all the people that are auditioning?
Well, so then here's the other thing. So let's say it's an in-person audition. Okay. We called in 50 people.
Okay. Is that standard?
Yeah. 50, 60
per role.
Per role. Yeah. That's like the max, I would say.
Yeah.
Then from there, let's say I'm in person session directing a sesh with like 60 people. From there, as a session director, I can go not fluent in Spanish and I hide them. And
that helps you're helping the casting director. The casting director knows
you're their eyes and ears.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Sometimes depending on the office, every office is different, but depending on the office, they will look and go, no, he's not right. She's not right. Yeah. And they'll hide them even though they auditioned, but it is what it is.
That makes sense. I assumed that, by the way.
Yeah. It's not just because you got a self-tape or in person doesn't mean you're going to be passed along to ad agency and director. There's another filter, right?
Totally.
So then from there, we bring down the list and then we send off the links to director and ad agency. And then they make their selects. Sometimes they're either going to cross-reference, like, okay, I'm agency, you're director. Did we pick the same people? And are we calling back all those people? Or you have your own selects, I have my own selects, and we're just going to call back everybody.
Oh.
So that's why sometimes when actors go to auditions, they're like, okay, why is there like 50 freaking people here for the same role? It's because they probably, ad agency and director, aren't alike on their choices. So they're just calling back every select from both sides.
Right,
you know what I mean?
See, yeah.
I just worked a job last week as, session directing where they were very specific about we're only calling actors back that were a cross pick.
Oh, okay.
So,
anyone else gets
put
weeded
off.
out.
Yeah, which I had auditioned for that too. And like the casting director was like, you were a director select, but not an ad agency select.
And director select is so important.
Yeah, you would think. And sometimes, again, depending on the job, depending on the office, they'll listen to the director more. And ad agency's like, great, you picked them. Yeah, let's see them.
Let's see them. I trust in you. You're the creative.
Right.
Yeah.
You have the vision. But sometimes the ad agency's like, no.
So specific.
Yeah. And only ones that we both picked. So anyway, I didn't get a call back for that.
Okay. So yeah, you're like, whatever.
Whatever.
Okay. And then that's how, so is that kind of where casting falls off as far as having a say in who books the role.
So then after that, they get selected, but okay, we have the list. Let's say it's both, like director and ad agency selects. We build a schedule, and whether it's on Zoom or in person, and you get a callback request, right? And then you come in for your callback, you do it. Then after that session, they sit and talk about it. Ad agency, director give their opinions. They have a whole thing
meeting after the callback session.
After the callback session, whether it's on Zoom or in person.
Average, how many people are getting called back per role?
Again, depends. Like sometimes it's just 5 for the role, or it could be up to 20 people getting called back for a certain role.
5 to 20.
5 to 20, I think, is like a safe bet. And from there, we print out size sheets, at least for the offices I work for, and we kind of just like lay them on the floor or on a big table, and you start to just like, it's like a puzzle piece, I would say, because you start to go, okay, we have Natalee, we have these other 4 women who's, who are we liking? And then they'll be like, we agree on Natalee. And then they're like, yeah, me too. And then, she becomes first choice.
Okay.
And then they're like, okay, who could be Natalee's backup if she books a job or she's not available, whatever. Or that's the other thing here is, so, okay, we'll pick a backup. Okay. So then we're going to just say it's Emily.
Okay.
She's backup. Then from there, we've chosen all our first choice and backups. We create a selects link with all the people that are first choice backup. We title it like, okay, Natalee is the OCP girl hiking, whatever. And then her backup goes underneath her. And then you send it off to the client.
Okay.
So like clients for Subaru, whatever.
Yeah.
Then they have the final say. Where they're like, who did you guys pick? You guys as my ad agency repping me, and okay, director selected Natalee as first choice. Okay, cool. Let me look at Emily as well.
Yeah.
And then they have the final say if that switches then.
Oh.
Or if they're like, no, love what you guys picked.
Yeah.
First choice is great, approved. And then they tell casting, hey, all has been approved, or actually these people switch, backup is now getting it. Please make that adjustment. And then from there, they send out the booking
emails.
And obviously before that, they'll send out an avail for all the people that are first choice backups.
In the meantime, they're getting because everyone's on avail at that point.
Yeah, during that meeting when they're discussing and they're picking the first choice backup, casting will come in and go, okay, who is it? Great, I'm going to go send avail emails. And they send avail to their agents. And then from there, you're now put on avail. Then again, days go by sometimes where they're like, they have to show it to clients. And then
I know days go by.
Yeah, and that's why it takes a while, because they're sending it off to the main client to give approvals on that first choice or the backup. And then they, again, send that list to casting with the approvals to book. And then they send that booking email.
How many people are on avail per role?
Good question. So usually it's like maybe 3, but sometimes depending on the director clients, they get cuckoo crazy and they pick like 7 people, 6 people, you know what I mean? And it's like, why just pick one and a backup?
Right.
But
2.
sometimes they just don't know. Maybe it's just depending on ethnicity, like how diverse are we getting, or do we need more diversity? Let's just have multiple options.
Yeah.
It just depends.
Avails are so fun to get, and then when you get released, it's so sad.
Yeah. I feel like I've learned these days when I get an avail to just like forget about it. Like get excited about it. It's a win that you've gotten that far, but then you kind of got to let it go.
One thing I've noticed is that if I'm on avail, the more days that go by, the less likely it is that I booked it, because they'll keep that second person on avail up pretty close.
You have a point. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they're like, if in case anything happens, we have that backup ready to go.
When I booked a Progressive commercial last year, booked it, so excited. I was like, fuck it. This is on my vision board. I'm like Progressive with Flo was in it, everything. I was like, that's great. Cool. Go to the fitting. The director's at the fitting. I'm like, hey, so excited, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, he's like, yeah, so we're not shooting tomorrow anymore because of weather. We're going to shoot Monday. And in my head, I was like, I'm going on a red eye tomorrow night after the shoot to New York to film.
Yeah.
And so I had to get recast.
Oh, no.
Within a snap of a finger, by the way. They were like, because I was shooting on Monday in New York, and I was like, this was a Wednesday. And I was like, well, I can delay my fitting over there.
And it was a theatrical job in New York?
Yeah. Like a major, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Streaming, can't move
that,
anything.
yeah.
And so I was like, well, can we shoot Thursday or Friday? Just Monday, because they were shooting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Monday.
Gosh, and you're
spots.
like, please, just like
I was
the
like,
Thursday
just
or Friday.
not Monday. Just not Monday. I am physically shooting on that day. And not even a question. It was like, oh no, we're moving the shoot to Monday and you are being recast.
Gosh, that sucks.
I know, it was so sad. But funny thing about this is I was in the fitting waiting room after I fit to get approved to leave. And I was telling my, castmate guy, like the story. And he's like, one thing I've learned doing this for so many years is just ask the theatrical, ask the TV show. And in my head, I was like, I'm not asking Raising Kanan, like Patina Miller, like the lead of the show I'm like, it's not how it, clearly that person didn't have much experience in like network television.
Yeah.
But
because if that date is set in network television, there's no moving
the schedule has been there for,
Yeah.
It's, a 10 episode season. We're like mid-season shooting, blah, blah, blah. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Maybe, actually, I don't think in any case you would be able to switch around a theatrical job.
Unless it's kind of like a commercial, right? Where they're like, I have the span of 2 weeks and they don't know when you're shooting depending on your role. But I mean,
You never
really,
know. Always ask, I guess.
always ask. But I mean, you were set. You knew.
Yeah.
I'm filming that day.
I'm
My
filming that day.
agency. Yeah.
In a different state, too.
Yeah,
So
too.
that was the other thing. I know, I was so bummed. So
Sucks.
Progressive is still on my vision board.
Aw, it will happen.
To this day.
It will happen.
Okay, what should actors never do in a session or a callback, in the original or callback?
I'd say let's do for a callback, just because that one's the one that popped in my head first. Sometimes actors get so in their head or wrapped up in the nerves, especially when all the clients are there and the director's in person, you're walking into the room. I feel like actors get so much in their head and wrapped up in the nerves with asking really weird questions or not really listening to a note that their director's giving you. And they're like, oh, yeah. And like talking too much and not actually listening. And then when they go to do the next take, the same way.
Yeah.
Because they've rehearsed it that way. And they're like completely ignoring the direction and note that they gave you.
Which is the point of a callback.
Right. They want to see that you can take direction. And like on set, are you going to be a problem where if I'm telling you to do it a certain way, you're not going to deliver that. And now we're like taking forever to shoot.
Totally doing the same thing.
Yeah. So that's my biggest thing that I see in callbacks. Just really listen and like take the direction and, and then for first call, being prepared. I think honestly walking in, and sometimes sessions that I'm directing, they'll be like, oh, I didn't even get a chance to read the script. I have lines. And I'm like, yeah, you have actually a lot of lines.
Yeah. Now, is this something where you get the script in the lobby when you arrive? Or are they sending it more in emails now?
Casting, usually like on casting networks, they could attach the script being like, hey, be familiar, you're reading these roles, or like you be prepared to swap these two roles so you have a lot of lines basically. And sometimes actors will walk in being like, I didn't know I had lines.
That's such good advice. Take it as a theatrical audition.
Yeah.
Like the same way you would read through that shit, come up with some ideas.
And know your lines. The other thing that's cool about commercial auditions that if it's SAG commercial, they have to have a board up. Even if it's just a one line or even a one word, I think by law you have to have a board written up. That
I've always wondered why it's always there in every room.
Yeah, because by SAG you have to.
Interesting.
And which is helpful as an actor.
So helpful.
But like even so, some actors will walk in and being like, I didn't know. And I'm like, well, it's okay. There's a board right there.
Yeah.
And so that's the other thing is like reading boards and teleprompters is also a good thing to
be good at. I'm really good at
Me too.
teleprompter.
Me too. For theatrical TV auditions, I always use teleprompter.
What is your thought on like they go to the callback, it goes great. Maybe they booked it on sending a thank you card or a postcard or anything like that.
Oh, that's nice. Personally, and when I worked at HC, they would love and appreciate like a nice bottle of wine, but I don't want to say that because some people don't drink or some people,
Right.
You don't know their story. But a good gift card to like a restaurant, like to take the office out for lunch, or you know what I mean? So that
Is that sent via to the office?
You can either send it or walk in being like, with a nice little card, just being like, hey, got you guys a $50, $100 gift card to, I heard you guys love whatever the sandwich place or the lunch place that they go to. You'll
take the office out.
ask.
Oh my gosh, doing that every time now.
Yeah, and it's a nice little gesture. You don't have to, and obviously they don't expect that.
No.
But it's just a nice gesture, and
memorable.
It's memorable, and they'll keep calling you back in, not just because of that, but just the nice gesture.
Yeah.
But that's what I recommend doing. That's what I do.
Okay.
I just buy a nice gift card.
You're buying a lot of gift cards right now, Josh.
Or maybe I need to buy more.
So let's talk about the acting side of it then. I mean, I could have so many questions. Like, I'm curious, are there things that people do that make them stand out in auditions? But I want to tie it into you auditioning as an actor and knowing everything that you know. What are things that you now do to bring a little sauce to a commercial audition? Because you book so many, and I'm sure you get callbacks on. I get callbacks on like 7 or 8 out of 10. I'm sure you are as well.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, like being in casting has definitely helped my commercial career and my success, but not just because I know the casting director, or, you ran camera for it.
It's not that, it's not that easy.
Because I hate when people come up to me and they're like, you're so lucky. And I'm like, I like
none
cringe.
of this is luck.
I cringe when people tell me that, because it really does bother me, because I'm not lucky. I worked my ass off. Like, as you heard my story, like I started off as a lobby assistant, not being paid, to moving my way up, to just being a sponge and like absorbing everything working in casting. That then I applied it to my own acting career. And I feel like that definitely has helped in why I book so much commercially. I think it's just the knowledge that I have and like being a fly on the wall kind of deal.
You're surrounded by it all the time, and you're watching other actors, and you're hearing the back end of casting directors and agencies being like, that was weird. Why did they do that?
Right. And like running a callback session, you have the director seated right next to you. You have ad agency right next to you.
You are a fly on the wall. The things I would do.
Oh yeah. Certain things you hear, you're like, ooh, that was brutal. Or it makes sense, and you're like, yeah, they totally did not take that direction well, or whatever. So I've definitely applied all that.
Yeah.
But my biggest note to someone, and that works for me, that I feel like it's such an easy trick that a lot of people don't do, because again, they get wrapped up in their head. Walking in with confidence. With being, and like almost like you're on set already and you have the job and you're working as a team. So like, what do we need? Got it. I'm walking here. Great. And I'm saying, okay, cool. Yeah, got it. Yeah. Like having this professional, confident attitude. It doesn't mean you have to come off conceited, like I know everything.
No.
But just being like, I'm a pro and I'm here to work and I'm here to help with this, for commercials, sell this product. Like, how can we do this? How can we create this vision and have it come to life? I feel like walking in with that, I'm telling you, they pick it up. Director and ad agency pick it up.
It's a magnet.
Yeah, and they're like, I want to work with that. That seems easy, professional to work with.
Also, there's something about you that's making me want to choose you. It's like a psychology thing where you're like, yeah, I'm here. What
like,
can I
that's
do?
a pro. Yeah, I totally want to work with him. That would be easy. Yeah.
Do you think that improv is a prerequisite to commercial acting, or you would recommend that if you wanted to get into commercial acting, you should go take an improv class?
I definitely believe you should take an improv class. There's so many moments where you have to be quick on your feet with a moment before or a button at the end of, and
always
a button is like at the end of a scene. You can button it with like a word or whatever kind of improv you want to do. I feel like they always call for that. So you have to kind of know how to do that.
I do always get nervous when they start asking for improv stuff, but I'm just like, okay, at the end of the day, I know how to converse, and if I can like pull, I'm not going to be the funniest in the room, but I'm not going to just stand there and talk about nothing
and say nothing.
Yeah.
I think definitely improv is important. Yeah.
Okay, so much more about acting
and and casting. If you want to ask me more.
Okay, well, let's talk about, so someone wants to get into commercial acting, right? Let's talk about the business side of how someone can start that process. Getting what I say to actors, and so I want to hear if this is right or wrong, is like headshots are so important. I talk
Yes.
about the thumbnail. I talk about all of that.
Yep.
And then you don't need it. This is what I say. And so then I want you to correct me.
Yeah,
and then I think you don't need a resume.
You're saying for commercial.
For commercials.
Yeah.
And then you need, these days it's like, why not send a self-tape of you acting theatrically? And then why don't you send along a special skills reel if you can do anything remotely different or cool? And then put that in with some sweet words, a little pitch about kind of maybe what you're about. And then that's like the way to get a commercial agent to start going on those auditions.
Yeah. Yeah. I recommend, like you just said, get really freaking good headshots. Do your research. Like who's out there? Who are the shots that are really popping and standing out, who a lot of actors use. Do your research with that. I personally shout out to Tandem. I love Tandem. That's who I use.
Okay. Headshot photographer?
Tandem.
And commercial headshot versus theatrical.
They do both. So
okay. But can you talk about the differences?
Yeah, I feel like commercial just needs to it needs to pop. Like it needs to just be like nice smile, how can I help you kind of look. Again, fun backdrops that maybe pop, fun wardrobe that maybe pops. Really got to see your eyes.
Welcoming eyes.
Yeah, welcoming eyes of like I say how can I help you because it's all like the associates or like the
Best
Buy or the employee at Wendy's or whatever. Yeah, I feel like that's definitely the difference. Theatrically, I mean,
brooding.
Yeah. Pouting.
No, but so for commercial auditions, because to us we think, or commercial headshots to us, we think like, oh yeah, we know what to do. But for someone who really doesn't know, like smiling, and should you have how many different commercial wardrobe shots? Because when I'm talking to actors, I say just do 2 looks and split it between theatrical and commercial. So smile and don't smile in some. But now you're making me inspired to be like, ooh, maybe do a session where you're doing 4 different looks that are fun and bright.
That's another little secret. I feel like with commercial looks, know your casting. Like no, like you just said earlier, like I'm always gonna go in for like the outdoorsy hiking girl in a Subaru commercial or whatever. Have that look nailed, like with the flannel and the puffer vest.
Okay.
And then what other looks? Like business, like you work for Apple. What other, your casting.
Yeah.
What other roles would you go in for? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
have all those set and have very specific looks with them. Okay, I'm going to wear my glasses here. I'm going to put my hair up here. I'm going to mess my hair up over here. To have just so many different looks that they can choose from. Because sometimes you have to do the work for them. They can't imagine it.
They can't imagine
like
it.
when
Even
they're
though we think,
casting directors, meaning they can't imagine it. So you have to show them that you are that.
Wow, I'm getting so, because I feel like, okay, casting directors know me commercially. I've shot maybe I think like 25 national commercials over the last decade. So I am relying on my agent, literally an audition breakdown comes out, I'm relying on him to pitch me, call them, whatever he needs to do. And the fact that I've already worked and I'm using literal headshots from 1982. Like, this is making me be like, okay, it doesn't matter, because they're probably getting bored looking at that thumbnail.
Yeah.
And there's probably so many cute little Latinas that are coming through and they're just like, you know what? I'm gonna go with this new photo that I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, get new. If you're holding off, get new.
Okay,
even if you're like, everybody knows, like, everybody
not
knows
even
me.
in a conceited way.
No,
it's
no,
just
but
like
even I could say that, like, casting directors know me because I work with them too.
Yeah.
But still, I will not just use an old photo and rely on that. Right. I think it's nice to like.
Yeah, make them feel like you're saying, do the work. Make them don't have to imagine you as this new.
Yeah.
Oh, she's 30 now. Oh, she has a bob. Like, I don't even think I have photos.
You don't have headshots with the bob?
I don't think so. And it's been 2
girl.
years. They just see me come in and like, oh, you cut your hair?
They're great.
Oh, stop.
Get new headshots with the bob.
Okay.
And just like when I got the mustache, the reason why I grew the mustache, this was more for TV film world, because I was like, I feel like this might open up my casting more. And it definitely did. But then it also simultaneously started working really well for commercials. So then I'm like, and I always hated a mustache. I'm just going to be honest. I always hated it.
But you're like, this mustache is money.
But now this mustache is money. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm keeping it until, I don't know, until they have me shave.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's working for me. But I had to go get new headshots. I wasn't just going to rely being like, you know, just imagine me with a mustache now because now I have it.
Oh, love. And to your point, okay, well, let's talk about money. But let's tie it to headshots really quick. So, you know, sometimes I bet we're like, oh, well, I don't want to spend the $500. And it's like $500
compared to is this where you're going?
Yeah,
what you can make on a national commercial?
So let's talk about money. I feel like no one does. On average, how much do you think someone could make if they booked a national commercial for an insurance company, a car company?
Yeah, those are like the moneymaker ones, or a fast food. It depends. It just depends on how long it runs. Like, I'm just gonna be real honest. Like,
I'll be real honest after you.
Okay, great. I had a Geico that was really big.
Is that the Parmesan one?
The Parmesan cheese.
Yes.
It's a really big one. It ran for almost like, I don't know, over a year, almost 2 years, I would say. And it was in English and in Spanish. Yeah. And I think I made, I don't know, close to over 120K or something like that.
Yep.
Maybe more. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
totally.
Yeah,
that's
like
the
that.
answer. Like,
yeah.
And so if we average up the other ones, you know, it's high. I know that it's not as much as apparently people made in 2010 on booking one national commercial. But in my experience, granted, my agent, I'm sure yours is too, we're kind of only going out for national commercials and those bigger spots. But I would say average 40 or 50.
Yeah, if it's not gonna run as long as like my Geico did or whatever.
Yeah.
If it has a nice little run for like summer or you know, a year or less than a year or whatever, 6 months.
A season.
I think you can. Yeah, you can make like, it's a new car right there.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
It's surprising you don't know when it's coming and it just comes in your email or however you get your residuals.
Yeah, or when you think it's done and then they're like, nope,
wanna
actually surprise. Well, renew is amazing. But even if they like keep just doing cycle after cycle, 13-week cycles over and over, and you're like, okay, great.
So how it works is you book a commercial, you go and shoot it, hopefully within, you know, a few weeks. And then every day from the moment you shoot it and 13 weeks thereafter, every 13 weeks you get paid a session fee, which is $800.
$780 something.
Yeah, $780 something. And that's for 1 or 2 years before it goes up. Do you know about that?
What do you mean?
So like they get to renegotiate after 2 years.
Yes, after 2 years.
Yeah,
renegotiation.
after 2 years.
But 13-week cycles, holding fee is the $783 or whatever.
Yeah, but after 2 years and they renegotiate, that holding fee goes up.
Yeah, can go double.
Yeah.
Or whatever your agent negotiates.
Yeah, whatever your agent negotiates. So for me, okay, I have a Snickers one that's still running I booked it in February of 22. And so 2 years, $780 every 13 weeks, plus airing internationally.
Wow. As well as here?
As well as here. Okay, so then you're getting money off of it airing, right, your residuals. Then after the 2 years, he negotiated $6,000 every 13 weeks. Now it's at $13,000.
Wow.
Every 13 weeks.
Wow.
But he was like, okay, we're on year 3 and I negotiated this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that first initial amount hasn't been 13 weeks yet. So I'm curious if that is going to come through. I'm not sure. And then I have a Hamptons one that I filmed 2 years ago. That's been 2 years. And so he just negotiated, which now to your point is making me realize that they are negotiating because this is $4,000. So it depends on
what they negotiated.
And
how it's going to run. So that also depends too. Obviously, if it's going to be like, national,
regional,
network,
international
television that they're playing it everywhere, then you'd get more money, I would say.
Yeah, but those are keeping me alive and well.
Yeah, I mean, commercials are great.
And that was one 12-hour day, both of those commercials.
Yeah.
So they are really fun. So I would say, because, people always want to ask, they're like, what am I looking at if I do want to pursue this?
Yeah.
Theatrically is completely different. Commercially, I think it's so hard to book and there's no luck involved and it's really hard. So if you do all of these things, all of these amazing things, tips that Josh has given you throughout this episode, you're looking at making, you can make anywhere.
Good living.
$20, $30, $40, $50, $60, $70, $80,000 per commercial.
Right. And just going back to your point too, like once you get the headshots, right? Then I would create a casting networks profile. Like if you're completely new to this and you have no experience at all and you're like, what do I do? Definitely get the good headshots, remember, right? Do the research and then create a casting networks profile. That's what all main casting directors use to cast their jobs, right? You'll create your profile, you'll upload all your photos, you'll, fill in all the stuff like my hair color, my eye color, whatever. And then from there, I would either email agents that you've been eyeing, agencies. But my biggest thing is like, get to know someone in your acting class, in your commercial acting class, in your theatrical acting class, whatever. And referrals. Referrals are the way in.
It's so true.
Yeah. I just signed with an agency in New Mexico and Texas yesterday. And that was from a referral.
Yeah.
So.
And you're doing that because shows are shooting locally in New Mexico and you want more opportunities.
I want more opportunities and I'll just fly myself there. I'm make it a point that I'm like, don't worry, I will get myself there. I'm paying for my flight. I'm paying for my hotel. I don't need them to put me up.
See me for this role.
Me. And I'm just like trying to expand that resume. You know what I mean?
And would this be guest stars and recurrings and series regulars strictly? Would you fly for a co-star yourself?
Why not?
Yeah.
Why freaking not?
I love it.
Because you never know. That's the other thing. I know we're talking about commercials, but you never know when a co-star could turn into recurring or when they just start to then move you to now you're a guest star and you're recurring. You just don't know.
Why would you take it out of the equation?
I've had so many friends that they're like, oh, I just booked this co-star. I have a line. And then all of a sudden they're in 5 episodes and they've thrown more lines to them.
Yes. There's this girl in my acting class. I think it's NCIS that she's been on for a decade, like so many years. And she shared the story in class that she was hired as a co-star. Yeah. And she's a series regular. They just got a spinoff. Like she's the lead of it.
Yeah. See, you just can't say no to these opportunities.
You can't say no.
Yeah. So.
Is there anything else that I know that you have a commercial or the casting office that you work for has a commercial class. Do you want to talk about that? So
it's a combo. So Ross Lacey Casting and then HC Casting have combined forces and they created the commercial class. It takes place at 200 South La Brea. So that's like the main casting facility there for commercials, right? There's other casting directors that rent out of there as well, but those are the main casting offices there. They created the commercial class. I was commercial class manager. I'm not anymore because now I'm a teacher. So I teach the bilingual commercial audition technique class. I start this, I don't know when this is airing, but I started in August.
Okay.
And then I'll have another class in October. And I'm also going to be teaching intro and a self-tape class. But that's maybe like next year. But for right now.
Get in those classes.
Yeah.
Guys, if you have any interest in, even if you don't have your headshots yet, whatever, get in these classes, learn. Start learning.
Start learning because the teachers are all session directors and working actors.
Who else would you want to learn from?
So they are literally again, eyes and ears of the casting director, but they know. Like me, they're absorbing everything. They see it all. They have stories for days on the casting side of it. So you're learning from these people.
Do you think it's important to have a favorite, like in commercial auditions, sometimes they ask you a question. That's sometimes
like a personality question.
A personality question. Thank you. Do you think it's important to have those stories in your back pocket in case you wanted to? Yeah, right?
Definitely. Like
where's your dream vacation? Who's your favorite music artist?
Or like sometimes, which I always tell actors, and you'd be surprised, some people come in and they're like, they keep it in the acting world, like my hobbies and like or like, And I'm like, don't. This is your opportunity for them to see a different side of you that's not the actor or the dancer. You know what I mean? Say something completely else. So whenever I get asked this question, I also own a furniture and decor business called The Heights Furniture.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. I have a store within a store at the Mark Collective in Venice, California.
Ooh.
On Lincoln Boulevard. So go check it out.
I have to come check it out.
Yes. And then I also sell online through my Insta.
I'll put it in the show notes. The
Heights Furniture. Yes. Yeah, and so that's what I always use. I'm always like something that someone doesn't know about me that it's completely different from acting and casting. I own a furniture and decor. And then they're always like, oh, really? Like tell us a little bit about that. Like what kind of decor? And I'm like, well, I specialize in glassware, vintage glassware. You know what I mean? So it's completely different.
Key in. Because they're hiring, if they could, they would hire real people.
Right.
On the streets.
Right.
But they can't because they're not actors. They're not professional. the more you can be a real person while also knowing all the technicalities of being an actor, the better off you are.
That's right.
So glad that we got to this because it's also why it's so important to have a life outside of acting.
Yeah.
Even when you get on set theatrically, I can't tell you how many times the directors like come up to me like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? Like, what's your life like? What do you do? You know? And I'm like, oh, memorizing lines, or, oh, I have this audition that I'm working on.
Yeah.
It's like not interesting versus being like, oh, I have
this business, or I'm doing this. Or,
I love pottery. I'm going hiking. I mean, actually, don't say hiking.
Don't say hiking because everybody hikes.
Everybody hikes. I've seen that. I feel like in casting director notes, like, don't say hiking for your hobby.
But you're bringing up a good point, because this is the other thing. When I do Q&As for the commercial class, people are always like, well, special skills. And I'm like, it is important for actors to like have some like special skills in your back pocket that you can obviously use in your benefit, because sometimes they're like, we need someone that, like you just said, like a pottery class, someone an actor that also has experience with pottery, and you just never know.
You never know.
And then because you have that specific skill, you're going to beat out all these other people that were submitted that don't have pottery skills or surfing abilities or horseback riding abilities.
Yes.
Or, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And have those on your profiles, you guys. Like have like, if you're a horseback rider or a surfer, I want to see a picture up on your casting networks, or a little clip, I don't even need it long. Don't exaggerate with the clip lengths. It should be like 10, 15 seconds long of me surfing or me on a horse.
Equestrian.
Yeah.
How proficient do you have to be in these things to say that you can do it?
It's a really good question, because some people show up to set and they're like, I have to do what? And I did say
Isn't that a way to be literally blacklisted? Like, that's terrible.
Oh yeah. And this, I worked for casting directors that have stories for days on these. So it is very important not to lie and to know your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a good example of that is the surfing thing. And I actually don't say it anymore because I haven't surfed in so long. But when I was 20, I had...
Sure, you were doing it a lot. You were comfortable in the water.
Younger, yeah. But I would always say, and I would bring it into the session, and I would joke, in my Ford commercial I booked, we went and shot surfing in Malibu and then went up snowboarding in Mammoth and stuff. Cool. And the director, I told him right there, I was like, look, I'll fall off a shortboard. I was like, put me on a longboard, because longboards are like boats, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I can totally stand up and surf a longboard. But it was very honest and open. And at the end of the day, they hired Tia Blanco, a professional surfer, to be one of the girls in our group. And they got a great shot of her surfing. Yeah. I paddled in the water a little bit. But if they're going to want a surfer, they will hire someone. But you have to know how to tell them in the audition. Yeah, and sometimes they'll have like, hey, they don't have to be super pro in this, but as long as they're comfortable in this, then that works. Yeah. Or if they're like, no, they need to, snowboard, because there's definitely going to be shots of them you know what I mean? Yeah, don't lie. Casting will tell the, agents when they put out the breakdown. But just, don't lie. Yeah. And tell your agencies, by the way. Some people don't. Some people are like, I've never told my agent that I actually been horseback riding since I was 10. And I'm like, what? You should. Yeah, those are opportunities. Yeah. You could literally book a national commercial because of your skill. Yeah. And that goes for, there's some outside the box skills. And I was just writing the commercial portion of my course, and I wrote out a bunch of like random skills. But I remember Jesse would get auditions for being a chef. Yeah. There was like a Pinterest audition that I helped him film, and we were like in the kitchen, and he was like, a chef knows what he's doing in the kitchen versus someone who just cooks. So if there's something that you're like really good at, absolutely tell your agent. And that was the special skills thing, which we didn't talk about. So like, but you said it, putting yourself on tape for any of those skills. Just 10, 15 seconds of you cooking. Football, or all these guys, didn't you play sports in high school and you could still do it? Like, film yourself doing that. I mean, I'm sure that's maybe a lot of people, a lot of guys that like have those skills maybe. I don't know, but still. Sure, but still, who cares? I mean, it's still added bonus, you know? Yeah. Oh my God, Josh. This has been amazing. You've been so helpful, and you gave me so many inside tips. And good. I think that I could speak for my listeners right now. Like, they gained invaluable knowledge from this episode. Yeah. So I hope. Thank you. So, yes. And where can everyone follow you? Yeah. The Joshua Rodri. Yes, sir. Yeah. And we'll put a link to your furniture store. And then So this will come out in September. So everyone listening to this, if you're based in LA, and I'm so sorry if you're not, sign up for Josh's October
bilingual audition technique class.
Bilingual audition.
Thecommercialclass.com.
Yeah, perfect. Which I'll also put in the notes. Okay.
Yay.
Thank you so much, Josh.
Thank you. Thanks.